What's up, everybody? My name is Dr. Jason Cahill, and I am with Dr. Megan Kennedy, and we are so incredibly excited to be back with you to do a workshop. The last workshop I think we did was in partnership with Orange Theory Fitness back in early February. It was an intermittent fasting workshop, and then all heck broke loose. COVID-19 happened. And so I will be the first to personally apologize to you. I'm sorry that we have not done any sort of workshop, whether, in person wasn't a thing anymore or isn't a thing, but also I'm sorry that we didn't learn the virtual stuff earlier. I'm not going to lie, like many of you, I didn't think this was going to be what it is. I thought maybe 3, 4, 6 months, I don't know, wait out the storm and we'd be back to normal. We are far from normal. And what we've been seeing in the last week and even today with what I heard is an upgrade to level 3 in Denver as far as COVID protocol. They were at a level 1. This thing isn't going away anytime soon. And so we decided, you know what, time to bite the bullet, time to learn more about how to do virtual and live stream. And we are here with you tonight to go over your most frequently asked questions. And so as we were compiling all these questions, we got a lot of them from you guys in the last week. And honestly, they all came back to the same thing, which is pretty much what can you do to get yourself strong and confident for another COVID wave, because it's coming, it's happening. And so what we know for a fact is a stronger body, a stronger host is less susceptible to foreign invaders. And so does that make you immune to COVID? Absolutely not. Does that make you immune to anything? No, not whatsoever. But what we need to do is really focus on putting the right things into your body, taking the right actions, and just being consistent. That's the biggest thing. And so we are going to really hit the 5 essentials. For some of you that are newer in our office in the last 8 months, or for any guests here watching tonight, the 5 essentials are really the core. It's what leads a healthy life and a healthy lifestyle, and it creates longevity. And so Dr. Megan and I, we're going to be going over just quick things that you can be doing every single night. Now, just to kind of give you a heads up, there will be some announcements at the end. We're actually having a Halloween party tomorrow with supplement sales. We're doing a pop-up supplement sale. So wait till the end and you're going to hear more about that. We are also promoting or kind of laying out our kids supplement line. And so I'll tell you more about that at the end as well. But I think right now, let's just dive into this. Let's start with everything. We are prepping for another COVID-19 wave. And so the first question that we have gotten over and over and over again is, what can I do naturally to build a strong immune system? And then a lot of people have actually asked us, what do we do personally to build a strong immune system? So I think number one, the thing that's the scariest about what's going on right now with COVID and a possible second wave is also that we're coming up on the quote unquote cold and flu season. So the first thing I want you to do to build a strong immune system is to realize that viruses, bacteria, pathogens, they're in our world, in our environment, in our life all the time. So just because the cold and flu season is around doesn't mean that you have to get it. What we see, it's not necessarily the cold and flu season, it is the holiday and sugar season. A buddy of mine, Dr. Kurt Perkins, I think he put it fantastic. He said that it's crazy how all of these illnesses, sicknesses, flus, colds completely coincide with our lack of healthy lifestyle, starting from about Thanksgiving until after New Year's. And so number one is realize that, yes, you can have your cake and eat it too. You can have your splurge days, you can have your holidays, but the most important thing is don't make it 45 straight days of falling off the rails. And so when you can kind of mindset-wise remember this and do all of the right things the other days and prepare for your cheat days or your cheat meals, you're going to be much, much more successful. So I think that's the first thing, is reduce, if not eliminate, your sugar intake, because they have shown that sugar not only creates inflammation, it not only creates, it's a breeding ground for sickness and disease, and it weakens your immune system. And so you have sugar in your bloodstream, which means your blood glucose goes up, and then your insulin level goes up, and then your stress goes up. When all of those go up, things like your immune system, your human growth hormone, your body's ability to recharge and repair goes down. So it's this inverse kind of bar graph going on. And so really focus these next few months on leading a healthy lifestyle, even through the chaos. The second thing that I would recommend right away, get your adjustments. That's not just me as a chiropractor, that's me doing research. I read this research article from 2011 today, and it showed that the chiropractic adjustments helps to, I have it right here, it helps to affect and influence something called interleukin-2. Interleukin-2 promotes naturally CD4 and CD8 T cells production. This is very beneficial for your immune response. And so when Dr. Megan and I tell you to get adjusted, it's not because we're going to cure anything or make you immune to anything. It's just going to create a physiological response so that your body can be stronger. That's it. Now, with all of that being said, in years past, anytime you had a sniffle, a tickle, anything, we told you, get in, get adjusted. We live in the COVID era now. And so we can't just have you come in with symptoms. So what I want you to do, if you are expressing any symptoms, reach out to me first or Dr. Megan, and we can all kind of devise a plan of attack for this. And especially if you get tested, you're COVID negative, then cool. We're going to get you into a room, quarantine you, and we'll get you adjusted and get that immune system going. So that's a big one. Reduce the sugar and get the adjustments. And a third one is get sleep. I actually read something right here. It says, where is it? Research found that adults who slept less than 6 hours a night were 4 times more likely to get a cold than those sleeping 7 or more hours per night. And so that was always a tough one for me. I think we're going to talk about healthy sleep more as this evening goes on. But I think the big thing with this is once I started to just make a routine, a night routine and a morning routine, going to bed about the same time, waking up about the same time, that helped me significantly. I started to be on my own internal clock. And so sleep is very important to create a strong immune system. By the way, guys, these action steps, I'm flying through right now. I'm just giving you a quick hitter. You need to know this because what we're going to do in about a month, maybe mid-November, is we're going to do a follow-up live stream that is going to go over immunity in much more detail. And so just get the logistics of it right now and start taking action. Along with sleep is exercise 15 to 30 minutes a day. Even if it's a walk, go outside, because that's the next one, is get sunshine. Vitamin D is imperative to express over 2,000 gene expressions. And a lot of those are immune expressions and immune responses. So exercise, get outside, get the sun. It can be so simple. I prefer HIIT because it's 15 to 30 minutes. You're going to boost your immune system, where when you start going for these long workouts, you actually create a bigger stress response, and that can reduce your immune system. So right now, this time of year, we promote HIIT type of workouts, 15 to 30 minutes. Just get after it, kick your butt, and get a good sweat on. And then finally, we talk about supplements. And so there's a few specific supplements that we recommend this time of year. I'm just going to start to show them to you. Number one is vitamin D. The reason we promote this so much is because of what I just said. This expresses gene expression and therefore creates a healthier immune system. And most of you are very deficient. If you don't know where you're at, I would highly recommend getting a vitamin D test just to see where you're at, and then let us know, because we can determine how much vitamin D you should be on. Right now, kids, I would say 2,000 IU a day, and adults 5,000 IU a day. Another one is probiotic. Huge, because up to 70% of your immune system stems from the gut. And so this is the good bacteria to help your gut flourish. Vitamin C. I don't think this is news to anybody. I think everybody knows boost your immune system with vitamin C. One I don't have is zinc. And so zinc and vitamin C are just those natural, easy things that you can take to boost the immune system. And finally, the hidden gem, oil of oregano. And so ours comes in a capsule form, but oregano oil is an amazing antiviral, antibacterial, and antifungal. And so this time of year, I do take that usually every night along with something called Kick-Ass Immune. And so those are kind of my go-tos as far as what you can be supplementing with every single day, every single night, so that you can keep a strong, healthy immune system. That was quick. That was get after it, but I'm hoping you're taking some notes. And if you have questions, you can definitely email us or get in touch with us as well. Along with how to strengthen the immune system, another question that people have been getting or sending to us a lot is the second question that Dr. Megan's going to take over.
Yeah. So should I get a flu shot this year because of COVID? First off, as chiropractors, Dr. Jason and I, we cannot advise one way or the other on getting a flu shot. What we can do is we can tell you what we've done in the past personally. So for me, I can't remember the last time I got a flu shot. I know I got a couple when I was a kid, but it hasn't really been a thing for me or a concern, so I haven't gotten it. And I've just focused on all the things that Dr. Jason just mentioned above. And it keeps me relatively healthy. So every now and then I might catch a cold, but I usually get over it in a day or two. So that's the big thing. The other question that I would get along with this is the flu shot even effective? So I dove into it a little deeper. I looked at the CDC, and they have statistics on like the past 15 years of how effective the flu shot has been. And so I looked at the past 10 years, and it ranges anywhere from 19% to 60% effective. That changes year to year. And the reason is because that flu shot is essentially researchers' best educated guess on what the most common strain will be for that year. So that's why there's such a huge fluctuation if for it to be effective. So, I mean, the bottom line is I don't promote it one way or the other. I did my own research and I have my own thoughts and feelings on it. And I highly, highly recommend that you all do the same. Just do your research, make the best decision for yourself and your family. We'll support you. And the other thing is do all of the things that Dr. Jason just said, and you'll stay happy and healthy.
Yeah, and I totally agree with that as far as just research. I mean, look into things for you and your family so that you are feeling like you're making the best decision for you. I think the last time I got a flu shot was when I was like 19 years old in college, and that was one of the last times that I had the flu, actually, lo and behold. And so for me, Dr. Megan and I, we're around people every year, not just COVID years, but every year, that are sick, that are expressing symptoms, and we don't tend to get it. And I do believe it's because of all those quick things that I told you to start off with that are just so simple that you can implement every day. And it's nothing that when you do it once, it's going to like just take care of everything. It's when you do it on a daily basis and you make it a routine and you stay consistent with it, that you have this compound effect, and it just continues to build. So we know about the compound effect with our money when it's in our retirement fund, but we don't think about it with our health. And so when you do small things every day, good things happen over time. And next thing you know, you're that, 40, 50, 60-year-old that's running laps around people in their 20s. So just stick to what you know and control what you can control. I think that's the most important thing that Dr. Megan and I tell people on the table when they're getting adjusted every day is a lot of these things are out of our hands right now that's happening in our society. So just do what you can do. And so to go off of the flu shot thing, there are quite a few patients, depending on their profession, that they actually have to get the flu shot. So the next question that we get asked all the time is there a way to detox if my work requires a mandatory flu shot? And so there's some people that we work with that they have to get it. They don't necessarily want to, but they have to in order to keep their job. And so we do have a couple ideas for you, or things that we've given to people so that you can detox as fast as possible. Number one, I usually have people, you can usually schedule when your flu shot is. And so I'll have people start off with the daily detox system. It is literally just a detox that I have people start off with anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks prior to getting their flu shot, so that you're already going into it less toxic, I guess is the best way to put it. And your body is already utilizing the cell detox and the body detox. Once you get the flu shot, one of the things that I recommend is you get in and you get adjusted immediately. If you guys remember, after your very first adjustment, we tell you drink a lot of water, because your body with an adjustment starts to detox, kind of like after a massage. If you don't drink a lot of water and flush out the system, you almost feel flu-like, actually, and ironically. And so for a lot of people, once they get that flu shot, we have them come in, get adjusted right away to start the natural detoxifying system and process. The next thing we'll have you do is get into an Epsom salt bath that night at home. So if you just take 2 cups of Epsom salt, sprinkle it in a bathtub, and just soak. That hot water opens up your pores. The Epsom salt can pull things out of your body. And so that is a great, simple detoxifying mechanism. One that's a little bit more aggressive, but probably deeper, is juicing, actually. Not gonna lie, I personally have never done a juicing cleanse or juicing detox, but we have had quite a few patients come in and actually tell us that they juiced for anywhere from 1 to 3 days. And when you're taking in all of those good fruits and vegetables and the good stuff with it, you're actually getting that crud out of your body. So juicing is great. And then the last one is sweat. A lot. Your best detoxifier naturally is the ability to sweat. And so for some of you, it might be exercising. If you can, I think the best option would be doing an infrared sauna session, or any sauna for that matter. But infrared definitely gets deeper into the body and into the tissues and really starts to detox from the inside out, which is amazing. And so right now with COVID, that's a little harder to find an area to do an infrared or a sauna in general. Be on the lookout for friends and family. It's amazing how many people actually have these right now. Or you can do what I've done before, which is create a steamy hot shower. Try to plug up everything, every nook and cranny you can where steam can escape. I try to kind of like put towels all over the place, and I try to make my own sauna. Not as effective, but it's better than nothing. And you can do it like the wrestlers trying to cut weight, and just like put on all the clothes and put on your winter gear. You will start sweating, no doubt. And then finally, it's continue with the daily detox, because for weeks after that, you want to continue to pull that stuff out of there. And so those are just some quick hitters of things that you can do immediately, just so that you do what you have to do, but you're not letting that stuff just sit in your body, and you can feel healthier, be healthier, and move forward quickly. And so that's probably the third biggest one. Dr. Megan, the fourth one that we get asked quite a bit, actually, and this is usually from community members, friends, family, people that are not patients in our office. And so the fourth one is this: what type of problems do you treat besides just back pain?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like you said, this is for the people who aren't in our office or have never been to a chiropractor. We are not just back pain doctors. We treat the whole body. Specifically here at Freedom, it's all about the whole body. And the way that we do that is by working with the core of our body, which is the central nervous system, and all of the muscles and the skeletal system around it. That it's literally how we function from every day. And so let's break it down. So many of our patients, you all have seen this, you've all heard this, but when you look at your spine, and this is specifically why we take x-rays, because we want the details of what's going on here, the millimeters and the degrees. But so when we look at your spine from the front, we should have a straight line, and your pelvis should be in line with itself. And then from the side, those curves are very important. It's our buffer system, our shock system throughout the day. And so you should have a 45-degree angle in your neck, 45 in that upper back, and then 45 in your lumbar. Your brain sits here, okay, and it sends its signals down that central cord and out the nerves to the various areas of the body. And so, like I just said, it's literally what makes you function from second to second every single day. And so if something is going on with that system, your brain lets you know it. And the way it lets you know is by symptoms. Let's say, for example, you have a rotated pelvis. All of these nerves that are going down into your leg, they're getting pinched off. They're not allowing that signal to flow through. And so the brain is going to send signals to your low back or your hip saying, hey, help me out. Something's not right here. And that's different for everybody. It can be numbness. It can be tingling. It could be just achy pain. It can be tight muscles. The other thing that it could be is knee pain, not pelvis pain. And so when we look, if someone were to come into our office and say, hey, I've been dealing with knee pain or ankle pain for months now and I can't figure out what's going on, I'm going to look at your knee and I'm going to look at your ankle, but I'm also going to look to see what your low back and your pelvis is doing because it's all connected. And so if that pelvis is shifted, it's going to change how you weight bear on your knee and on your ankle, and it can create pain. So the knee or the ankle might not be the problem. It might be the low back. Same thing for the shoulders, wrists, elbows. I can't tell you how many times I've been asked a general question about an ankle or a knee. I'm like, oh yeah, let's work on it. And then the patient's like, oh, I didn't know that you could do that. So like anything. And we all know somebody that's dealing with shoulder problems, ankle problems, wrists, not just spinal problems. And so I just want to remind everybody that we have an amazing opportunity this month. We have 3 more days, but we are offering our community a $49 exam, x-rays, consultation, and adjustment. It's a 75% savings. So as long as we hear from you in the next 3 days, we will honor that discount and get you healing. But that's the big thing is, I don't know if I can help you. You got to get in here first, and then we assess from there. Dr. Jason and I were both very blunt and to the point. If we can help you, we're going to let you know, and we're going to walk you through those steps to healing and functioning properly. Now, there are sometimes things where we don't know what to do, and that's where other providers come in, and we're going to make sure that we get you to that next step so that you can truly correct the problem that's going on and not just treat the symptoms. And so that brings us to the next question of, if I am seeing multiple providers, should they be talking to each other? 100% yes. You should have us talk to each other. At the very minimum, you let us know, you let other providers know what you're doing, who you are seeing. That way we're all on the same page, and we're treating you the best way that we can. So the more information that we have, the better you're going to be, the better you're going to live.
I think, like Dr. Megan said, is remembering for our patients, remembering that if it's a joint, it can get subluxated. Subluxation doesn't just mean in the spine. So like she was saying, does the spine, the lower back, the pelvis, can that create bigger problems in your extremities, in your knees, your wrists, your hips? Absolutely. But sometimes those joints can actually get subluxated as well. And so remember, if it's a joint, it can subluxate. And so tell us about those things. Communication is key. And the less you tell us, the less we can help you or change things. And that brings us to this question. We did have somebody reach out and ask, I have other providers. Should you guys be sitting down and talking to each other? If you want us to, we definitely can. If the other provider wants to, absolutely we can. But I think the most important thing is just let us know, what else are you doing? So if you come into us with headaches and we're working that, it's also good to know, oh yeah, you're getting a massage once a week or whatever it might be, just because it helps us determine your frequency, your recommendations, and how to get you healing the fastest. And like Dr. Megan said, if we can't help you, we're going to tell you and we're going to refer out. And so this is a soapbox of mine. I've been ticked off about this forever. And this isn't just PTs or medical doctors. This is chiropractors as well. I don't understand why we all have this huge ego where we say, oh, if you're seeing that physical therapist or if you're seeing that medical doctor, I'm not going to see you, or you have to stop seeing them in order to see me. That's ludicrous. And because when you think about it, chiropractors, physical therapists, massage therapists, medical doctors, rolfers, people that do dry needling, everybody does things differently, that when they come together, they all help the patient. So why wouldn't we be co-managing? Why wouldn't we work together for the patient? And the problem that I see is in the healthcare profession, everybody has this big ego. And so our goal is to drop the ego and figure out what's best for you as the patient, but communication is key. And so, we're consistently talking to other physical therapists and medical doctors in the community to try to figure out what do they have that I think our patients could benefit from. But just let us know, because the other thing is, if you have another provider that you've been working with that you love and you think that we would work well together, let us know that too, because it might be a good fit for another patient. So if you're seeing somebody else, 100% tell us, and at least tell us what's going on, and then we can figure out the next best steps for you to keep you as healthy and strong and viable as possible. So it's all about you as the patient. It is not about us as the practitioner. So that's just my little soapbox. I think we all need to remember that it's not about us. It's about you guys. You're the patient. You're the one that needs our help or needs our leadership. And so let's work together. That's very important. The next question that we get a lot is actually, it's a twofold question. The first one, are there non-prescription recommendations for better sleep? I think the first thing I would say is, number one, again, just like the flu shot, I can't tell you to not take a prescription sleep aid or even an over-the-counter, because that's out of my scope of practice. But I will say I have heard some crazy stories that people tell us because they've been taking prescription sleep aids or sleeping medication. I'm talking like people sleepwalking, people leaving their house, cooking a full meal and not even remembering it the next day. Like, those things are hardcore. And then what I hear every single time is they feel groggy. They almost have like a hangover the next morning. And so most people don't want to be on those, but you also need your sleep, like I said before, because a lack of sleep is a lack of immune system function, and it's this kind of domino reaction. And so a couple things that we highly, highly recommend is, number one, like I said before, get on a sleep schedule. I think that's very important. Think about if you have kids, especially babies and toddlers, you have always put them on a sleep schedule, because if you don't, your life is a living hell. And so just think of yourself as a big baby. Put yourself on your own baby sleep schedule and stick to it. That's a good way to just kind of reset the circadian rhythm and your body's ability to fall asleep and wake up when it should. Number two is watch the caffeine. I know for me personally, really, if I have any caffeine after 1 p.m., it does me no good. And so what I have recently done is change. I used to have multiple cups of coffee. And by cups, I don't mean like a real cup, like 6 or 8 ounces. I mean like a coffee mug cup, like 10 to 12 ounces. I used to have a couple of those every single morning and realized that I wasn't getting great sleep. So now I still have a couple, but one is normal and one is decaf. And so that has helped me significantly. By the time it is 10:30 and it's time to go to bed, I'm ready. My brain is like, let's go. When you're hitting that caffeine later in the day, your brain is like, let's go. And it is just firing like crazy. And so watch the caffeine. The other simple things, stay hydrated and exercise. Both have been shown to increase your body's ability to sleep well. You guys have to think about it like this. You would not go days on end without plugging in your cell phone. That's just like, no way in heck would that happen these days, because we all live and die by our cell phone. And so if you go days, you know that thing's going to crash and it's going to take a while to recharge and come back up. So why would you do that to your body? Sleep is like you plugging in and recharging. It's when you recharge, it's when you repair, and it's when you heal. It's when your immune system does all the beautiful things. So sleep is very, very important. Some people have tried all the tricks. They've made their room as dark as possible. They've made it cooler. They took the light sources as far away from their bed as possible, and it's still not working. So when that's the case, if you've changed lifestyle things, but then nothing else is working, we kind of have this trifecta of supplementation that has actually worked pretty darn well. And so just to let you guys know, we're not supplement salesmen by any means. I know we're showing supplements because those are the questions that we've been getting. We just carry them here because going into Whole Foods or Vitamin Cottage or wherever, it is really overwhelming and you don't know what you're getting, and nothing is really regulated that much by the FDA as far as supplements go. And so we carry them here just because we know we're getting Designs for Health, gold standard, pharmaceutical grade, and it is a good quality product from a good quality lab. So that's why we talk about the supplements. And so what I have done, I did it for a month to just reset my system. Every night I took a half a teaspoon of magnesium, one of the most deficient nutrients in most of our bodies, along with vitamin D. It is across the board when you get it tested because our soil isn't as rich with magnesium anymore. And so I do a half a teaspoon of this, which by the way is also not only good for sleep, it's also good for digestive health, cramping, and hydrating your cells in your body. So if you feel like you drink a lot of water, but you're always dehydrated, magnesium. So half a teaspoon. And then we take two products called melatonin, which you've probably heard of before. Melatonin is a natural, it's naturally in our body, actually. Melatonin is what your body produces to get you sleepy, but you can also supplement it, and it helps you to get kind of drowsy. And then there's something called insomnitol, and that helps you stay asleep. Again, I'm not trying to just sell you a 3-pack. This is actually the protocol that comes straight from Designs for Health when you're struggling with sleep. And so you just do this every night. I tell people to do it for about a month, anywhere from 2 to 4 weeks, actually, because it's going to reset your internal clock in your system. And then after that, like now, I only take it as needed. If I didn't sleep well last night, I'll take those 3 tonight just because it's going to help me get back to sleep. But first, I would hit it harder and more frequently so you can reset the system. And so those are the 3 that we recommend as far as sleep goes. Along with sleep, the other question that we get all the time, which is a really difficult question, is actually what kind of mattress or pillow do you recommend? And so that's tough because mattresses and pillows are so subjective. And the reason I know this is because years ago at Freedom, we used to carry pillows here in the office, and forever, like we'd have people coming in and they would buy a pillow. It was honestly, it was a pretty darn expensive pillow, and they loved it. They raved about it. And then the next day somebody would buy it and then come back and say they hated us because the pillow was so horrible. Everybody's so different. There's no one size fits all when it comes to pillows, when it comes to beds and mattresses, when it even comes to office chairs and setups for ergonomics. You have to test the waters. And so what I always recommend is even going to one of those like bed places or a furniture row, because they can test to see kind of what mattress might be the best for you, what pillow might be the best for you. They do this cool muscle testing, and it works really well. And so that's one way of doing it. Whether or not you buy a bed from them, that's totally your call, but at least you have some education about what your body will respond best to. The other thing is, like for my wife and I, when we were bed shopping, we finally went with what's called BioPosture. There's no flame retardant on it. It is very ergonomically sound. We work with them. And so if anybody wants more information, we can get you that. Again, I'm not selling beds by any means, but this is what we purchased because of all of the different benefits that it had with that mattress. But I will say that was the first time that we went to a more spinal friendly ergonomic type of mattress, and it took us weeks to get used to it. It was crazy how trained our body was to like a crappy mattress. Now we love it. I mean, we both sleep like rocks. It's amazing. But at first, I mean, it took my wife probably 3 or 4 weeks. It probably took me 2 weeks to just get used to it. And so just know that when you're getting something that's probably better for your spine, it's there's a healing crisis, a learning curve when it comes to your body. And so just give it time. And at the end of that, if it doesn't work, send it back and go back to the drawing board. Don't be afraid to do that. Those are probably the biggest things that we teach people as far as the beds and the pillows and the mattresses and everything, because there's no right answer for that one. You just really have to dive in and do some research and find out what works best for you and your spouse and kind of come together with that. So again, kind of a vague answer, but that's legit what we say to people when they ask when they're on the table. So the next question that we get a lot is, Dr. Megan, when is the best time to take my supplements?
So there is research saying take it first thing in the morning. There's research saying take it before you go to bed. It's kind of all over the board. There is no one right answer. So my answer for you is take it whenever you're going to take it. Like if you remember to take it first thing in the morning, great. Take it in the morning. If evening works better for you, do it then. Lunch, I don't care as long as you take it. That's the big thing. It's just whatever works best for you and your schedule. Yes, again, a vague answer, but everybody's different. So that's really the best way to go about it. Obviously, there are a few things to take into consideration is if you're taking something to help you sleep, you should take it before you go to bed, not first thing in the morning. The other thing to consider is if you're intermittent fasting. Supplements can break your fast, so you just have to be careful with that one as well. I would say for when I'm fasting, I will take my supplements with my first meal of the day, which is usually around lunchtime. That way I know I'm not breaking my fast that way. And I won't take them first thing at night because that's when I'm starting my fast. So noon is my time on those days.
Yeah, and I'm the same way. The one that definitely 100% breaks your fast is fish oil. Because of the oil that it's in, it does have calories, it breaks your fast. Most other nutrients don't, but what I found, and the reason that I don't take other multivitamins or vitamin D when I'm fasting is because my stomach does not like taking supplements on an empty stomach. I get pretty nauseous and queasy, and so I've learned my lesson with that, and I just make sure that I either take them after lunch or with my lunch or at night. But remember another thing with fasting, if you're starting your fast, let's say you eat at 7:30 and your fasting period starts at 8 o'clock, but then you take your fish oil at 9:30, guess what? Your fast actually starts at 9:30, not 8 o'clock. So just keep that kind of stuff in mind when it comes to fasting and your nutrients. Dr. Megan, you and I were talking today that I know for you and I personally, there's really two things when it comes to spending more money on our health. There's two things that we do not skimp on, and that is supplements. You get what you pay for, honestly. When you get 1,000 vitamin Ds for $10 at Costco, there's usually a reason for that. So supplements we don't skimp on. We do make sure that we have kind of the best of the best. And the other thing, and this is a question we get all of the time, is I want to eat all organic, but can't go completely organic because of cost. So what is the first thing you would recommend changing? And this is what we were talking about is supplements, food are the two things that we will spend more money on because we know it has a greater effect or benefit, I should say. And so with this, where would you suggest people start or just at least move forward with when it comes to going organic?
Yeah. So for me personally, what I did when I decided that, hey, we're going to try to eat better products is I first changed my animal products to free range, pasture raised. There we go. Just those good, healthy, clean products that I know hormones aren't getting pumped into them. And then the other one is the Dirty Dozen. It was that simple. Like,
I'm going to put up a dozen right now. We'll put it up on the slide so that you guys can see. These are the 12 that the Environmental Working Group says that you should definitely go organic with because they are the most pesticide laden and all the stuff is on those. Yeah. And so, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt. I just wanted to.
No, it's good. Yeah. And so it was simple for me to just make those decisions that this is where I'm starting, animal products and Dirty Dozen, because it's literally a list I can look at and I don't have to think about, should I get organic in this product or not. So that's what was easiest for me, most cost effective for me as well. So yeah.
That's kind of how we started as well. I think we started probably with our vegetables and our fruits, just because we knew how many pesticides were just like literally sitting on that stuff. But then we started to dive deeper into the meat. Now we've kind of transitioned to, we don't eat meat. We only eat fish, but even that, we do our research. We want wild caught, sustainably caught, none of that farm raised crap, because it is frankenfood, man. They are the farm raised salmon. You look at that, they inject them with things. They're gigantor, and they're not healthy fish. And so you are what you eat, and you are what they ate. So remember that. You even want to look at, cows and chickens that eat organic, just like you should eat organic. And so those are probably the easiest places to start and save some money. If it's not on this list, buy whatever. Another rule of thumb is if it has some sort of covering, rind, something like that you have to peel off, you normally don't have to go organic, because the stuff is on the outside and you can eat what's on the inside. So that's another good rule of thumb. But that ewg.org is an amazing resource for so many different things when it comes to just healthy foods, healthy products, skincare products. They have this cool little scanner so that you can download the app, and when you're at the grocery store or wherever, if there's like a sunscreen that you're looking at, you can scan it, the little code on the back, and it'll kind of give you a grade of, is it good, is it bad, is it ugly? And so it's a pretty cool website with a lot of different resources that we highly recommend people check out and just kind of keep as a favorite, because you'll get a lot of stuff from it. The last question that we have gotten a lot, and this probably goes hand in hand with the most asked question as far as what should I do right now to boost my immune system? And then this one, sometimes it's not even a question. Sometimes it's just a statement. I hate my home exercises. I forget to do my home exercises. I don't have time for my home exercises. And then most people are just like, are they really that important? Do they really move the needle? Is there anything that I can do to make it easier? Yada, yada, yada. Here's the thing, guys. To be very honest, I hate my home exercises. I don't like head weighting. I don't like doing everything, but I do it because I know it has an impact on my spinal structure. And like Dr. Megan said, that impacts my nervous system, which impacts my body's ability to function better. So to be very blunt, if you don't want to do your home exercises, don't do them. Like that's that. I'm not here to like be your parent, and Dr. Megan's not going to like chase you down and make sure you're doing it. We don't recommend these things just to make your life harder. I know you guys already have so much on your plate. Everybody does. We recommend these because it's over time, like the compound effect, going to make your health better and therefore make your life easier. That's why we do it. So it's kind of like a construction guy or gal going onto the construction site. They recommend that you wear a helmet. Now, do you absolutely have to when the foreman's back is turned? No, but it's probably a good idea because it's going to help keep you safe. That's how we look at these exercises. We turn our back. You don't have to do them at all, but it's probably a good idea because it's just going to create it's going to get more out of what we do with the adjustments. And so a couple things that I recommend to make it easier is, number one, remember, you don't have to do all of them at once, because for some of you, that could be 25, 30, even 40 minutes. And so if you want to break it up, if you want to do one set in the morning, one set at night, it doesn't matter. It's kind of like Dr. Megan was saying with supplements and even with exercise, just make it your own. But I would recommend scheduling it literally in your daily schedule, or putting it with something that you already do every single day so you don't forget it. Because I will be the first one to admit I forget things like head weighting all the time. And I'm freaking here every day watching people do it, and I still like it slips my mind. And so with the spinal traction, just put it somewhere where you walk by it. When you're walking by, just stop, do 10 real quick. You don't have to do 25 or 40, just do 10. Things like head weighting, like today, I did my HIIT exercise workout, 25 minutes. And then at home, I have my own Vibe plate. So I stepped onto my Vibe plate and I did my head weighting for 10 minutes as my cool down. And I do it every single time. It's just habit now. And because of that, it's part of my routine. Things like wobble, you could do at any moment. I mean, you could take that to work. You can see all of them back here. You could literally just hop on a wobble. You could be at your computer. You can do whatever. I don't even know if I'm in the picture anymore because I can't see myself. So I hope I am. But do it. It doesn't matter. And it doesn't have to be 5 or 10 minutes. Just getting this motion for 1 minute is awesome. We had a question from our buddy Felipe that asked, why do that exercise where you go here when you're trying to focus on forward head posture and bringing you back? Shouldn't it be the opposite? That's actually a great question. So head weighting brings you back this way. But the reason that we have you do this one, and I do this in the car because I remember it. I hit a red light. I do this exercise. I'm pushing it. I'm trying to get it going. And then I stop. And the reason we do that is because most people, because of forward head posture, they go here and here. So because of that compensation, they're very strong back here, very weak right here. The same example would be if you want to get nice, strong tree trunk legs, you don't just work your quads. You work your quads and you work the backside, your hamstrings. And so you want symmetry from front to back. And so I do some things after my workout. I do some things in the office. I do some things in my car. I don't know, Dr. Megan, I don't know if you have implemented anything different for the exercises or the why, but
yeah, putting my TV remote in my head weight, and I want to watch TV at the end of the day, just kind of like chill out and relax. I literally have to touch my head weight to get to the remote. So I might as well put it on, watch TV while I head weight. 10 minutes goes by just like that. Some people put it by their coffee maker. So while their coffee is getting ready in the morning, they'll head weight. Some people brush their teeth while they head weight. So
just don't drive with your head weight on, please.
Literally I'm asked that at least once a month.
Yeah, that's number 11 as far as the most frequently asked question. Can I head weight while driving? No. That sounds very dangerous. I mean, it's already heavy and you're trying to do one of these. And if you try, I don't know, just don't do it. Don't even go there. But that's that, guys. That was 45 minutes as we promised. That might be the first time that we ever said 45 minutes for a workshop and we stayed on track. So maybe this virtual reality thing is a legit thing. We just have a couple announcements that I'm going to have Kirsten bring up for us here. And so the first one is we are having a Halloween party tomorrow. I know we did not promote it. We didn't let you know much about it. I sent something out today, but honestly, it was kind of last minute. And as you know, our team loves to have fun, and having fun also promotes more energy in the office, more health in the office, helps you along this healing journey. And so we're having a Halloween costume party. We as a team are dressing up as the 5 essentials. So I really hope you come in and get your adjustment and see our 5 essentials costumes. But also, normally when you're at a workshop, all supplements at the workshop, when your butt is in the seat, are 10% off. Obviously, your butt is on your couch or your own seat right now. You're not at a workshop. And so we're doing a pop-up supplement sale out of nowhere tomorrow, all day in the office. It is 10% off everything. And so please come in, get your supplements, save some money. If you're on this and you're hearing this right now, we're also just for you guys on this. If you want to call in tomorrow, you can also order your supplements there. The ladies will just take the payment over the phone. We'll get everything ordered and get it to you probably by next week. So that's huge. We're also going to have some kids treats for the kids. So I'm hoping some kids come in and dress up. We saw like half the kids in our practice today. So it was fun, but I wish it would have been tomorrow. And then also the last thing for tomorrow, we're rolling out our new kids supplements. Another frequently asked questions is, what should I give my kids? And so Dr. Megan's been doing a lot of work to figure out best supplements for your kids. So we're rolling out a multivitamin, and we have some oils from BioRay, one to help kids poop, one to help kids sleep, and I think one for immune function, I think
Yep.
it is.
Yep.
And so pooper, sleeper, immuner. I don't know. So we got 3 of those that are really cool. We'll have information on them tomorrow, and it's going to be fun because, I don't know, we like to dress up and wear weird wigs and be crazy. So come join us tomorrow. And please dress up. Have fun with us. And then the last thing is we are going to right now tentatively have an actual immune system virtual workshop on Thursday, November 29th at 6:30. Same time, same place, either on Facebook or YouTube live streaming. This workshop, the plan is, unless something else happens where we're like, deviate from the plan and we're going to do a different workshop. But this workshop should be more sciencey, more of the data and more of what you can be doing rather than just the quick hitters for immune function that we talked about today. Now, your action steps are look at those quick hitters and see what are you doing and what are you not doing, and start to implement, start to take action tonight. And then by the time the 19th rolls around, you're going to get more detail, more information so that you can create the strongest titanium immune system possible for you, your family, and your friends. Like Dr. Megan said, there's 3 more days. Speaking of friends, 3 more days. If there's anybody that you know that needs to be adjusted, needs to boost their immune system, needs to just take care of their spinal pain, extremity pain, 3 more days, have them call us in the next 3 days, and we will honor that $49, which gets them their first 3 appointments for $49, and it gets them their adjustment included, x-rays. We've never done it before because it's National Chiropractic Health Month, and so last 3 days of that. Other than that, guys, I hope you got one thing that you can implement today that is going to move the needle tomorrow and going forward. Be free, feel free, live free. Thank you guys for joining us on our first virtual workshop. See y'all soon. Thank you, Dr. Megan.